Morning, driver. What's shaking? You know, my favorite answer to that question comes from the show Cheers, when Norm replied, all 4 cheeks and a couple of chins. So let's get at it. Truck needs a bath. Doesn't look bad, but it's bath time. Getting a few too many bugs stuck to the front of it. So we're gonna use the old flatbed this week. I've been trying to use the flatbed more often, actually. Just, I'm grateful to have a step deck where that work keeps popping up in the meantime. So, been flip-flopping a lot, like a lot for the last couple weeks. Today, this week, we've got something, I don't know, kind of something, not the normal, but not the usual either, for sure. Nothing's usual. We're gonna go back to Fernley and we're gonna load scales again. There's a really big scale job, I guess, going on in Genola, Utah, like granola, without the R. But I don't know what it is, but it's a really big scale. There's 2 truckloads for 1 scale. So we'll see when we get out there, unless maybe they're doing 2 scales, but that would be kind of unusual in my mind. So we've got a full load. We've got like 5 modules to put on this truck from what I was told, and it's gonna weigh about 48,000 pounds. And Genola is right at pretty much where Highway 50 runs into Interstate 15 in central Utah. So we're gonna run no interstate this week. We're gonna run Highway 50 from Fallon, Fernley, all the way straight across into Utah. After that, so I was gonna be looking for some work out of Utah and kind of start around from there, but then I got offered a 70-foot long load of joists for the next day out of Fallon. So I decided to take that rather than beat around the bush and looking for cheap freight, which nobody wants any part of that. We're gonna turn around, come right back, hook up, or not hook up, but load a long load of joists, and we're gonna go to Southern Oregon, up to Klamath Falls. After that, we're out in the wind. We're swinging in the wind. We're gonna bounce around, see what we can do to fill in the rest of the week. But with the way things are going these days, I would rather grab a sure, good paying load and take care of that than it would to be out there kind of bouncing around off the load board and fighting with the cheap folks, fighting with the people who will do it for less than what it costs for fuel. And the longer I stand here and talk, the later it's going to get. So we're burning daylight. Let's go. My name is Jupiter. I drive a truck. I own the truck I drive, and that's why I called my company Jupiter Trucking. Join me, and I'll take you along on some of the different things I end up doing to make a buck with a truck. Moving along today, these guys are ready. The other truck rolled out just as soon as I got here, and they are hot to trot and ready to go. We'll be done in no time. So me and the guy here were talking, and he explained a couple things to me, which I kind of knew, but he clarified. So right here, this is a 117-foot long by 11-foot wide scale. It's a C module, which an A module is an approach, a C is a depart, and a B is in the middle. So this is a departure module, the departure piece of the scale, of a 117-foot long scale. And since there's 2 trucks, we kind of figured, he doesn't know, and I don't know, but there's probably 2 different scales that they're doing out here. Big ones. Cool. I always like loading here. I think it's a fun place. The guys are really nice. We get along well. That's it. We're done for today. These scales are 48,500 pounds and 48 feet long and 12 feet wide. Okay, good enough. Time to go home. Here we go. Time to go to work. Just getting ready to take off here. It's not going to be too bad of a day. Only about 7-8 hours to go today, so I didn't leave too early. I was slightly mistaken about where the location of Genola is. It's actually north of where 50 hits 15 by a good bit. So we'll just get over into the area, call it a night. There won't be too much farther to go in the morning, and I don't imagine they're gonna want me there at the crack of dawn anyway. It's gonna be a pretty simple day. We're gonna run out Highway 50 all the way across Nevada and then into Utah. One road, lots of scenery, nice and peaceful. Let's go. Today's route's gonna be pretty simple. We're gonna stay on Highway 50 for 252 more miles. Then we're gonna make a right-hand turn and continue on Highway 50 for another 153 miles, where we will then turn on to Highway 6. And in 68 miles, we will be at our destination. Pretty simple routing today. I have a problem. I just came down Austin Summit. That's Austin Summit over there. This is the Great Smoky Valley. And I started hearing some noises. I broke that brake pot. It's Sunday. I am literally in the middle of nowhere. And I'm gonna have to get creative. I'm not calling a service truck here. We're gonna have to get creative with this. Well, I was hoping that I had the right fitting, but I don't. I was hoping I had a cap for that, but I don't. So I'm gonna have to reconnect this so the air leak stops, and then just wire this up. I have a new brake pot sitting at home, and that's a pretty new one right there. I think I might have done that one just recently. So yeah, we're gonna be taking chances today. The bolts pulled right through the metal. Okay, I'm fixed up enough to roll. Thank God for bungees and baling wire. What I had to do was hacksaw this compression fitting off of the tube so I could get the ferrule out, and then I just shortened it obviously by that much and put it back together. This will work. All the brakes work except for one. Get down the road and take it one day at a time. Probably run back home empty and swap out, get the step deck trailer, pull that one. Okay, that took about 45 minutes. Time to get going. Tools of the trade: pliers, screwdrivers, hacksaw, baling wire, and bungees. Not beautiful, I'm not excited, but it's gonna get me going. And it sure beats the alternative of some kind of service call and hours and hours and hundreds of dollars. Something I can do in a part I already have. I'm done. I made it to Delta, Utah. The sun has gone down. I'm 1 hour from the job site, and I'll just do that in the morning. I don't want to put lights on this load and go through all that hassle. So found a nice spot, and hopefully this will work just fine. I don't think anyone will bother me here. My repair, or whatever you want to call it, is holding. Still there, not leaking air, holding tight for that. What are you gonna do? Honestly, what are you gonna do? You just roll with it. just make it happen, get the job done. I'll go home. That won't take very long to fix, so I don't think I'll fix it this week. I think I'll just swap trailers instead. We shall see. Yet to be determined. See you guys tomorrow. Morning. You're still with me. Nice. Can't quit yet. The job's not done. We're just a couple miles from the job site here, and we should have this off in good order, I'm assuming. I imagine this is going to go quick and simple, fingers crossed, and then we're going to turn around and boogie for home. Stick around. This could get entertaining yet. So these scales are going to be put in later. We're just going to store them for right now and unload them. The crane's not here. The crane's probably 10-15 minutes away. He's going to get into position, and they're just going to unload them and stack them and install them later. So this should be pretty quick. So the crane finally showed up. Been here 2 hours. Luckily, me and the other driver have had a good chance to catch up and visit, so that's nice. But let's go, people. That's done. That took a long time. That was like 4 hours. It is almost noon here, and I got here at 8. So yeah, I have an 8-hour drive home, and unfortunately I found a backhaul today that would be perfect. One of those loads, structural steel loads out of Cedar City that goes back to Sparks. But I can't do it, not only because of the mechanical breakdown. I'm 3.5 hours from Cedar City, which would put me there 4 o'clock because I got to get fuel. And then unload in the morning. It's just not going to work. Kind of worked myself into a bind here. Unfortunately, I have to skip a little work to grab a little work, and sometimes the cards roll your way and sometimes they don't. You don't have a crystal ball. You just don't know. Anyway, so we're headed home. Now this is the historical little mining town of Eureka, Utah. There is one little oddball piece of useless trivia for Eureka, Utah. Who's heard of the Zamboni ice, who knows what a Zamboni is? The Zamboni ice resurfacing machine thing that they use on skating rinks and stuff. The guy who created that, Frank Zamboni, was born in Eureka, Utah. He invented the Zamboni while he was in, or the machine while he was in Southern California. But yeah, he's from Eureka, Utah. This is what driving home in the summer evenings is like every year. Okay, I'm home. My rubber band Band-Aid, it hung on. At least I made it home, didn't drag anything. New one sitting right there. I was gonna do it tonight, but the sun's already down. 4 hours to get unloaded just killed me today. So I'll come out in the morning, we'll do it. I'm gonna give myself 1 hour. If I can't do it in 1 hour, I'm just gonna hook up to the step deck and take that. See you in the morning. All right, never mind. Amy reminded me, and I totally forgot. I have another job to go do in the morning. I need to go haul stuff with the pickup. So under the truck I go. It's 8 o'clock. See how I do. 2 hours on the dot. Didn't I say 2 hours? I think I said 2 hours, right? Yeah. It's all fixed. I ran into several problems, several issues that I had to resolve. The clevis that came with the brake chamber was the wrong one. The old clevis was kind of stripped. This and that and the other, but we got it. Had to chase mosquitoes for a minute. See you in the morning. Time to go to work again. I'm gonna try holding this camera way out here, swinging it around like that. See if it makes any difference. See if everybody loves it or not. No, it's too hard to see what's going on. The trailer has been repaired and inspected. I inspected all the brake cans on both axles. I left a mess for myself to clean up when I get home. That's going in the trash or on a trophy wall or something like that. There's our brand spanking new one. And we're getting in the truck and we're going to Klamath Falls, Oregon with a 70-foot load. Go get it done. 70 feet of girders. They're actually not all 70 feet, just one. Just one single one sticking out that far. It's all right. That's the one that pays the money right there. I think it's about time we hit the road. We've been dilly-dallying a little too long today. Seems like a common theme for me. Whew, it's hot out there on the asphalt. I know we don't have the humidity, so I shouldn't complain, but it still makes you sweat. It's hot. So what is being built with this load of material is not your tilt-up warehouse or anything like that. It's a grocery store. This is going to build a Winco grocery store. I called ahead because a lot of times these job sites are kind of small and crowded, and sure enough, the contractor that I talked to recommended not coming to the job or trying to park there. He gave a couple suggestions. I have a couple ideas already too. I'm pretty familiar with the area. Oh, we only have a 5-hour drive. It is about 1:30 in the afternoon. I think I'm going to stop, see if the truck wash has a long line. If there's a long line, I'm not interested in sitting and waiting. But if I can get right in and get right out, it's about time we got this pig here a little cleaned up. Give this dirty boy a bath. Truck is washed. It's about time. There are 2 truck washes in Fernley, and that is the one that is not the Blue Beacon. They do a pretty good job. I can't complain about that. There's usually much less of a line, but the problem is nobody there speaks English, and we communicate through a series of grunts and whistles, and I get my bill paid for time. The problem with the one in the Blue Beacon in Fernley is that you cannot see if there's any line until you're in line, and when you're in line, you can't get out of line. So it's kind of a trap. It's usually not worth getting trapped. Sometimes it pays off, but I don't feel like gambling today. But I got a clean truck. That's nice. Well, I just saw some of those traffic alert ahead flashing signs, and so I decided to tune in on my radio, and there's a collision on the highway that I'm on Highway 139, a few miles ahead, and all traffic is being held. So we may have a bit of a delay yet today. I'm a few miles away from it, so we'll see what we get. I'm probably 20, 30 miles away from it. I'm gonna be here for a little while. Stop in the shade. a mess. Wow, pickup car. Oh my God. Oh man, that's a bad one. Park for the night. Beautiful spot. Happy morning. Everybody's gone. Johnny and I moved after we got parked last night. We were parked right over there, and I pointed this out to him and say, hey, let's go over there. So we moved over here and just watched the sun go down. And then I let him, another guy showed up later on, and I let the both of them get going ahead of me. I'm trying to find something to haul out of here tomorrow, or today. And so I let them go get unloaded first and get that done. Like I said, get everybody warmed up, get the kinks worked out. But this is a nice spot to stop. I do have one good contact in the area, but of course he had something going from here to home last week, not this week. And I also am not really going to just pick up a load going anywhere. I'm going back home. So we'll see what happens here in the next couple hours. I think I'm gonna just head on into the job site. Everybody left about 15-20 minutes ago, and just go over there and hang out. Well, there's something to be said for not being the early worm, I guess. At least not the first early worm. I just got a call from Johnny, and the address on our paperwork is wrong. The address on our paperwork is a residential address, and I'm not sure how they found the right address, but he just gave me the right address. So I saved myself a bunch of problems there. I don't think he's quite centered enough. Yeah, he got it. Shavings. That's about it. We're in good shape. There's a slight change of plans. I don't have a backhaul. I have not been able to find one of those yet. About a year ago, I reached out to a friend and I inquired about some irrigation wheels. You see wheel lines that go across pastures and stuff, and they're 6 foot in diameter. Amy has asked for a few, and I wouldn't mind having a few, and I asked around for some, and I think I found some. So I'm headed over to a nice older lady's house who has some, and apparently she has quite a bit of stuff. Her husband passed away, and he was a collector, and we're gonna go see what they have. I'm here with an empty truck and a blank check. Not that I wanna go spend a lot of money, but who knows what treasures we might find. This is quite the place. I pulled in and parked, met with Melody. Her husband aside, or in addition to being a farmer, was also a old 8N Ford tractor collector and wheel lines, or wheel line parts and stuff. And then she offered me her Kawasaki mule to drive around and look at everything. She just said, I'll catch up with you later. She went back into her shop, working on something in there. Very sweet lady. She said they came out and did an inventory. He had 93 Ford 8Ns carcasses. I think it's 8Ns and 9Ns. I'm not sure the difference. So, and 5 trailers full of parts. Those 2 old beer trucks are full of parts. Things brand new, 25-year-old, brand new in boxes, parts. Everything's for sale. My partial haul. I got 3 old tractor grills, 5 old tractor seats, an old loader grill of some sort, 2 cream cans, one of those old axles, and a dozen irrigation wheels. Look what I did. This took me entirely way too long, but I got all this cool stuff. Jupiter's junk. If I'd have known it'd take me this long, I probably wouldn't have wanted it so bad, but I got it now. Wish me luck. It's time to go home now. Well, this wasn't the back haul I was hoping for today, but it's one that I've been kind of looking for a while. I have a project in mind for some irrigation wheels, and I have been asking around and just waiting for the right opportunity to find some. And when I had the time, I had the truck, I had the trailer, I had everything I needed to bring them home. So I'm excited to add this to my pile of things to do later. I think this is my favorite Nevada state line sign. It's just simple. Okay, I'm done. I'm home. This has been a very long day. Getting all these pieces of antique stuff, it took me 6 hours to get everything found out, pulled out, loaded, and tied down. And it was over 100 degrees, and I was tired by the time I left. And I still had a 5.5 hour drive home. Coming the back way, I told you that it was a rough road. And sure enough, the chain that holds my air lines between the tractor and the trailer broke, vanished, got beamed up. It's gone. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Again, complete middle of nowhere. And my airlines drug on the ground and rubbed holes in them, and I didn't even record any of that. It was just, and you know, on the top of that, I had the part I needed, but I didn't have the tool because it's still sitting right there on the floor of my shop from fixing the brakes on the trailer. When I took off out of here with the trailer, I just said, I'll clean it all up when I get home. And then I didn't have it. This road is so desolate, I sat out there well, I didn't sit. I was there for 30 minutes, and I had my other tools. I was gonna back off the brakes. I was gonna have no trailer brakes at all. I was gonna back them off to 0 just so I could roll. Forget it. And then one vehicle, it happened to be a truck. It was bobtailing a big truck. He came by and he stopped, and he asked if I needed help, and he had 2 big crescent niches. That is all I needed to put together a union. And it's been a day. It's been a tiring day. So I'm done. We'll see you guys in the morning. Look at this, we made it back home. And you know what that means? Time to take off the work hat and put on the home hat. Still have plenty of work to do, but we're gonna do it here at home, but not wearing this hat. See the new hats? These are pretty cool, huh? Man, what a wild week this was. It was just all over the place. I'm not going to call them breakdowns, 2 mechanical failures that left me stranded on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. The second one that I didn't record any video of, I was actually in the road because there were no shoulders. And with the trailer brakes locked up, I weren't going nowhere. So I was just kind of in the middle of the road with my flashers on. Yeah, and also, speaking of flashers, it chewed up my electrical cord, my light cord, really bad. So whenever you step on the brakes, all the turn signals came on. Turn signals work, but it was just, everything got all chewed up. I am gonna replace everything later today. So we'll get that done this weekend. That's it. We're gonna call it a week this week. I wanna point out or remind you guys though, see these new hats? These are really neat. This is the only one I have, by the way. Go to my website, jupitertrucking.com. Almost forgot what it was there for a minute. Go to jupitertrucking.com. We've got 6 or 7 different colors of hats on there. If you'd like one too, I super appreciate the support for it. And I also have a Facebook page. You can check that out. I try to do funny shit on there every now and again and just kind of keep it going, a little entertainment, light entertainment. And we'll just wrap this one up. I want to say thank you to everybody for all the support. The comments are amazing. I love interacting with everybody. I feel like I've actually made some friends doing this. And we'll see you again next week. Have a good weekend, everyone. We'll catch you later. In the meantime, keep the bugs off your glass and the bears off your ass. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.